So the next thing I was going to ask you is about GLP-1 hormone because it's made by our bacteria, our microbes. Is that correct?
That's right. There have actually only ever been 2 microbes ever published to be able to stimulate GLP-1. But a lot of people don't realize these drugs are actually a chemical mimic of a hormone that your body naturally makes that is stimulated by your microbiome. And moreover, the food that you're eating, the lifestyle that you have can help you to increase these strains and get that GLP-1 regulation back into your system.
Exactly. So what the research I saw was that it was fats that was destroying the GLP-1 hormone. So I dove into the studies to try to figure out what fats, and I couldn't find what fats. They just clumped them all together. But my hunch is it's the inflammatory fats that have been dished out to us by the Western standard diet that has destroyed these microbes, which has destroyed the GLP-1 production that happens within our gut. So of course, now we're gaining weight. So we need to be able to have these, add these medications in to replace what the microbes should have done. Is that an accurate line of thinking?
I think I might think about it. I might turn that on its head and sort of say, I think about it from the angle of what are we not feeding these microbes? And so you could say, well, here's what I am eating. But I think the question is really to focus on, well, what are you not eating? Because again, the foods that you eat that can feed these particular microbes is pretty well known and well defined. And it's not going to be surprising to anybody. High fiber and high polyphenol are actually really good for these microbes and have been clinically demonstrated to be able to increase their levels. And so I think one of the, kind of dietary trends that you're talking about that we're all moving to is also this massive depletion in the amount of fiber that we should be intaking every day. And if you're able to increase your fiber, your daily fiber, you'll actually be feeding these microbes that are then responsible for stimulating GLP-1. And a really cool paper just came out it came out in Cell just a couple of weeks ago, showing that there are actually these groups of microbes that are really important for our health and our metabolism. And they are fed by fibers. They are literally the group that metabolize fibers. So if you're not eating fibers, you're not getting those guys that can stimulate GLP-1.
And do we have any sense how much fiber that we should be eating?
Oh, yeah. What is the recommendation right now? Is it 30 grams a day?
I can't remember so I'm trying to get women out of counting anything because we were counting calories and then we counted the scale and then we counted macros. So what I've been telling my group is that what we should be doing is having fiber with every meal, and fiber should be first. So super interesting study that I found was that if you eat fiber first and then protein and then carbohydrate, you actually start to see the production of GLP-1 hormone go back up. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. And that gets to another conversation we were having, which was around fasting or more specifically, the breaking of the fast. And that's really speaking to what you're saying, which is that you've got all these microbes sort of living inside of you, waiting to see who are you going to feed first? And so, you can feed the men first and then the pregnant women. And then, but here we're
you're back to the primal days. I got where you're going. That's awesome.
Back to the primal days. And so to feed those microbes first that are involved in fiber metabolism, you are giving yourself sort of this head start in the GLP-1 production because those are the strains that stimulate GLP-1 production. And the reason you want that is because GLP-1, one of the most important things that this GLP-1 hormone does is as soon as you stimulate it, it tells your brain that you're full and you don't need to eat anymore. So you don't overeat. You feel satiated by your food. You don't get weird cravings at weird hours of foods you don't need. And so, breaking your fast with fiber, starting your meal with fiber, this is all 100% the way to essentially hack the system and get the GLP-1 jump started before everybody else.
Amazing. I hope people hear that because we are such a culture of give me the pill, give me the shot, let me do it. And what I see is that we just are getting further and further away from our own natural way that we do things. So that makes perfect sense to me.